Hello everyone, how are you doing? Hope you are doing great. I'm talking to you from Horizon Language School channel, and today we have an English class story session for grade 6. And before we start, let's talk about what we're going to take today. Okay, today we are going to take chapter 6 in Robinson Crusoe, and but before we start, let me ask you some questions about the previous chapter 5, under the title of Learning to Live Alone. Okay, so just try to remember some incidents happened in this chapter, but to try to remember, I would like to ask you some questions related to that chapter. So question number 1, are you ready? Okay. Why didn't Robinson travel in his canoe? Anyone knows? Okay, let me answer this, not to take so much time. So Robinson didn't travel in his canoe because his canoe was too heavy. That's why he couldn't travel in it. Okay, let me ask you another question. Question number 2. Robinson turned very satisfied with his life on the island. Anyone knows why? Or can you explain why? Or how? Okay, let me tell you where is the answer. You can find the answer on page 28 in your storybook, but let me read it for you. Okay, you can just sum it up in some few sentences like he felt the island was his home. Okay, he made another canoe. He was busy from morning till night. He learned how to, make clothes from animal skins. They didn't look great, but the clothes protected him and kept him dry in the rain. He kept food and tools at both houses. He also kept wild goats in a field with a high fence. They learned to take some food from him, and soon he took milk from them. Year after year he worked hard on his cornfields and his homes and his canoes. So you can find what I'm reading on page 28 in your storybook. Okay, so let's go to the new chapter 6, under the title of footprint. Can anyone tell me what does it mean, footprint? Yeah, as you can see in the picture, this is a footprint. A footprint is the impression or the sign your foot or your shoe leave on a surface or a flat surface. Okay, so as you can see here, this is footprint. Okay, so now I would like you to open your storybook and page 29, and let's start reading. One day something terrible happened. I saw something on the sand while I was walking along the shore. I approached it to look carefully, and I froze in surprise. It was a human being's footprint. I was very afraid. I didn't know who this person could be. I thought he could be a cannibal who killed and ate other people. He could know about me and might be hiding somewhere now, waiting for a chance to attack me. I rushed to my home and stayed there for 3 days. I reinforced my fence with more wood and young trees. I was ready with all my tools and weapons. In the end, I had to go out to look after my goats and take care of my home. I was afraid for 2 long years. I always stayed near my home ready with my gun, but I never used it as I didn't want to make a noise. I wasn't able to forget about the footprints. However, life had to go on, and slowly I began to feel more relaxed. Now, turn the page. We are on page 30. Let's keep reading. One day, I was on the green side of the island. I could see a boat on the shore of one of the other nearby islands. This explained the footprint. It was a visitor from one of the other islands. I was a little bit relieved, and during this time I began to move freely around the island. I built myself a third house. It was a hidden place in a cave. No one would ever be able to find it. My fears on the island seemed endless. One day, while I was on the west side of the island, walking by the shore, I saw a terrible scene that almost made me faint. Limbs and heads of human bodies were scattered everywhere along the beach. I couldn't work out how they had got there, but after a while I understood. The wild men from the other island had taken men as prisoners and brought them to my island to kill, cook, and eat them. I was very angry, and I couldn't believe how savage these human beings could be. For many months I watched carefully. I never saw the savage men themselves, but often spotted smoke and fire coming from the other islands. I was both angry and afraid, and wished I had the courage to shoot them. The problem was that there were many of them and I was alone. They could kill and eat me. Then one morning in my 23rd year on the island, I was working in my cornfield when I saw smoke coming from the other side of the island. I went up a hill and saw 9 men dancing and screaming around a fire cooking their terrible meal. They went on for 2 hours, then they sailed away in their boats. I went down to the shore and saw blood of the dead men on the sand. I decided that the next time they came to my island, I would kill them all. Okay, now let's try to answer some questions from your story sheet. Question number 1. How did Robinson get ready after discovering the footprint, and how did he feel? You can find the answer in page 29. But before you open your storybook, please, can you think a little about the answer? Okay. Robinson started reinforcing his fence with more wood and young trees. He was ready with all his tools and weapons. Okay, this is the answer of the first part. Okay, how did he feel? I think you know now. How did he feel? Robinson was so scared. He was so afraid of the footprint. It could be a killer who killed and ate other people. And now let's go to question number 2. Why did he have to go out? Can you think with me, why did Robinson have to go out? You can also find the answer in the same page, page 29. Can you guess the answer before opening your book? Let me help you. Robinson had to go out to take care of his goat and his home as well. And now to question number 3. Robinson was always careful. Can you discuss this? Okay. Robinson, he was afraid for 2 long years. He always stayed near his home ready with his gun. But he never used it as he didn't want to make a noise. So, this is the answer. Okay, let me repeat it. He always stayed near his home ready with his gun. But he never used it as he didn't want to make a noise. Okay, now let's go to question number 4. How did Robinson explain the footprint? Can anyone tell me? The answer is very short. It was a human being's footprint. Again, it was a human being's footprint. And now I will leave some questions for you. Number 5 and 6 and 7 and a comment. We will answer them next story session. So please be ready to answer with me in the next story session, okay? Okay, let me give you a hint about the next chapter under the title of Man Friday. There is a new character will appear in the next chapter, chapter 7. What do you think about it? Who will be that person, that new character? And what do you think about that footprints he found, Robinson found, I mean? Do you have any idea? We will know next time. Thank you so much for listening and hope you have a great day. Bye.